Good afternoon, fellow SAMs out there in the regions. This is Danny Prater, the Regional Navy Medicine West Support Agreement Manager. Today I'm going to go through a document here and do some formatting. The reason for doing this is receiving a lot of clerical errors from admin, and it's slowing down the process, the approval or endorsement process here at the regional level. So I want to create a video showing some of the common problems that we're having with the support agreements for ensuring that they're following Naval Correspondence formatting. Again, these are only for Navy-to-Navy agreements, or when the Department of Navy is the one creating the document. So first thing you want to do is, you see I opened up a document here. This is a common one that I see there's some extra spaces in here. There's some semicolons here, and we got some periods here. And there's a period here, but there's not, and there's a period here, no text after it, and there's no period here. So we're going to go through this entire document, take about 5-10 minutes, go through the entire document and correct all the mistakes, and hopefully this will help you out for working with your admin sections to make sure that the region's getting the most polished product possible at our level, and continuing to provide that world-class customer support to our program managers. Alright, so starting off, first thing you want to do is you want to move everything over here in this section to the no spacing. Hit Control A where you're highlighting the entire document. Once you hit that, Control A where the entire document is highlighted, come over here to the no spacing section and click there. You want to go into the paragraph column. We don't want to add any spaces, and then you want to go down here to the tab section, and in the tab section let's set it at 0.25, and also change the default tab to 0.25. This is going to set up the document properly. Want to make sure that we are using Times New Roman. And that we're using 12 font right here as well. And we can start by getting rid of this letterhead. We don't need it. But what we do need is the coding up here at the top, which is in some type of box. The other thing that helps is this little button right here that I'm hovering around right now, right here with the cursor. If you click this button, it lets you know where there's spaces. Each space is represented by a dot, and when there's a paragraph where you're hitting the enter button. And these little things right here, I don't know what they're called, but that's the thing that's going to definitely tell you that the document is, they have some kind of text box that they're writing in. And we want to get rid of that text box because it is problematic. And then we can just take the rest of this document we're going to tab over to about, I don't see, tab it over about there, and we'll copy the rest of this. Delete. Once we get rid of all of this, then what we'll do is we'll turn around and we can just delete this box. Delete that. Delete this. Delete this. Basically, delete all of that. And then we can turn around and, if it needs, to be put, if it needs to be centered, we can center it, like there. Okay, so in the subject line, we never abbreviate and put acronyms in the subject line, so we'll go ahead and take that out as well. And you'll notice that they've used 2 spaces after the semicolon of the, or the colon after the spacing, so I'm going to take that out and I'm going to hit a tab. I'm going to come over here. We're going to tab. So we got it lined up, and you'll notice that the references aren't lined up. And there's some extra spaces here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the spaces, hit a tab. And remember, it's lining up perfectly because in the tab section, we changed the tabbing to 0.25. Now I'm going to go down here to the second line. Second line should be lined up with BUMED. I'm going to get rid of all the spaces, and this should take exactly 3 tabs. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 tabs. And the BUMED and the OV are lined up. And you'll notice that there is no space between 7 March 11. So when we have the this little tab highlighted right up here, we can see when there's not a space or something. So we can go ahead and add a space right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to correct the rest of these as well. One little neat trick is that you can highlight all the spacing that you want to get rid of. Hold down the control button, highlight multiple sections at one time, and this allows you to delete everything at once. And then I'll hit delete. It took everything over. Now I can just tab, go to the next line, tab, and everything is starting to line up perfectly. So we got everything lined up here. Get down to the enclosure, take out all the extra spaces, add 1 tab, and everything is lining up where it should be. Coming right on down here, should be, the paragraphs are numbered, purpose, and then it should be a period that's not underlined after that. Now paragraph 2 has the word background. There is no space after paragraph because there's no text after that space. So that's fine, but you'll notice that the that we're going into a subparagraph 2A, so there should be 1 tab here, and we have an extra space here. We're going to go and delete that extra space, come down. We need to delete all the spacings where the old naval letter format's 4 spaces, 8 spaces, 12 spaces, and so forth. We can just hit the tab button 1 time because we've allowed the we've reset the paragraph formatting to be 0.25 tab. All right, continuing on. I'm not reading the document. I'm just formatting the document. Because I did make the changes in the subject line up here, I do need to go into the subject line up here and take out the acronyms that we're not using. So that's fixed. One thing good about this document right here is that everything is, the acronyms are being used. So the first time it's being used in the actual body, the acronym is after it, and then afterwards you just use the acronym. So we have PHEO, and that was not used in the acronym beforehand. Oh, yep, there it is right there in the references. Okay, so we're good. So I'm just checking all that as I'm going here, and making sure that anytime I see an acronym, because it's all bolded or highlighted, it sticks out at me. So installation commanding officers, ICOs, which is an acronym I've never heard. Usually I'm used to OIC and CO and different things like that. But they're using the acronym in parentheses after, so I'm okay with that. Our admin's going to be okay with that. Here we have responsibilities. Paragraph 3, we got responsibilities. There's a period. There's no wording after it, so we delete the period. Subparagraph needs to be tabbed over. So subparagraph A, B, C, D, E, and 2 spaces after a period, 1 space after parenthesis. So here's paragraph 4 at the bottom, place of duty. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the period because there is no wording after that. Our subparagraph should be tabbed over. Resources. Okay, resources is a little bit different because there's only one subparagraph, subparagraph A. Let's go ahead and get rid of that and do it like this right here. So, and the only time that you're going to have subparagraphs is when you have multiple subparagraphs. So this is just paragraph 5, resources. It's just one paragraph. Well, let's leave that like it is. Moving on down to the HIPAA, we've got 2 spaces after it. Paragraph 6, 7, and then really no reason to have this extra line here. I'll make a few little changes there. In correspondence, paragraph 8. Correspondence is all caps, but we're not showing consistency within the various paragraphs. So let's go ahead and take correspondence and let's go up here and I accidentally changed the font on it. What I really meant to do was go in here after I've highlighted and make it lowercase. And then we should have a period after correspondence, a semicolon. And here, make a few minor changes. Some kind of weird spacing issues going on here. If you're going to do it as a subparagraph, tab it, then come over here, take the spaces out, and we'll do another tab. Actually, no. Tab, space, period, A. Wants to do this little lightning bolt up here is telling me that it wants to do an auto format. I don't want to do an auto format on this. I just want to have spaces, but when I delete it, then it's going to take the whole thing off. So tab, space, A, and yeah, the auto formatting is taken over on me. When this happens, the best thing to do is just have an extra letter in the front there, and then do exactly how you want. And now the computer wants to think for me. I'm just going to leave that space there. Tab. Ooh, yeah. So it's really wanting to take over on the auto formatting for me. What we might have to do is, because it's thinking for me, take it like that. We'll take an extra space there. Take it down, tab, one tab. Okay. Sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. You got to play with it to get it exactly where you want it. And we'll just get it lined up right there. But it's a little bit of a pain. The auto formatting can be a pain. There should not be a space after FPO. A comma after FPO. Postal will not accept it like that overseas. So let's go ahead and take it out, make it look the way it's supposed to be looking. I really don't think that we need to have an extra line here for DSN. We could probably just go ahead and space, and that way we have it all, and we've got plenty of room over here in this section that if we wanted to put both of this correspondence point of contact information side by side, we probably could. Matter of preference. I personally don't care. Admin really doesn't care either. So we'll go ahead and continue to correct these, and I'll continue to talk just so you're not listening to a video with no comments or anything at the same time. Maybe I'll get fancy and I'll add some music to the video or something. And then you'll see that what's great about this is I can see that we have 2 spaces, and we should only have 1. So I'll go ahead and delete that. Effective date and duration, let's get rid of this and put a period at the end so we got some uniformity across the entire agreement. And then, this is the first time I'm looking at this document. This is a bad cut and paste where it says by party A and party B. Some agreements will say, in the very beginning that Naval Hospital Bremerton there and after will be referred to as party A, and Naval Submarine Group 9 will be referred to as party B. But in this case, party A and party B was never used in this agreement, so we shouldn't be using them down here because nobody knows who's party A and who's party B and stuff. So I'm going to go back and change this to whatever we use the acronym up in the beginning, and the same for this one. I'm going to go back, and so I'm going to skip this for now because really this is about formatting, and that's something that needs to be changed within the agreement. Termination paragraph is fine. Concurrence paragraph looks okay. And then we're getting down to here to the bottom where we're getting to the signatures. We're going to at least have the last paragraph included with the signatures. We can't have the last page cannot be just signatures solely by itself. So we need to at least have some signatures to go along with it. And the signatures, there's some kind of section page break here, and they've done this in some kind of text box. This is a non-reimbursable agreement, so we don't need to have the comptroller's signature. We can go ahead and delete that. But I'm not going to delete the Navy Region Japan's comptroller because maybe that's their business practice to have them in there. I would definitely delete ours. You know what? Why not? Let's delete the whole thing, right? Non-reimbursable support agreement does not need to have signatures at all. And then they've gone. This agreement has added some kind of enclosure. We're going to go ahead and delete this because the enclosure should be in a separate document. So that's for a separate. Document altogether. We'll have the enclosures. I should go ahead and. Well, now it does look like we can get the entire thing on one. Because of the signature lines, we can get the entire signature on one page. So that's good. Ooh. But I've noticed that we've lost our header. So I'm not for sure what just happened there. But we can add that back in. I'm going to copy that, go in here, add it, take out the extra space, make sure that the different first page radial button is tagged because we don't want it on the first page. Come out of it, come to the top, everything looks fine there. agreement. Okay. So we've got our header in. We got our footer. Then footer is enclosure 1. I don't know. I'll have to check with admin to see if this is written correctly. And it adds our signature block back to the second page, and that's where our error was. So I'll just go ahead and space it on down where the signatures are with the last paragraph on the last page of the agreement. I'll have to go in here and I'll have to check with admin, because just like you, I was never a yeoman. I've always been a financial resource manager, and the only naval correspondence or yeoman training I've had is the OJT training that I get, and when I get all of these agreements kicked back to me. So, but I'm pretty sure that this is not how we want it to look at all. In fact, let's just go ahead and delete it now. If you want to add a page, you can add a page, but we don't have to. Okay, so I hope this video helps out as far as doing some formatting of the agreements. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you go with the no spacing. Use this button right here, the little paragraph button, and then also go into the paragraph tab here. Don't add spaces on the tabs. You should set it at 0.25, and that's going to allow you to format this much easier. I already see I missed some stuff along the way. A little tab there, a little tab there, and so that should help us out. Periods go after the subject that is named on there. So I hope this helps out. I'll try to make a few other videos. Thank you for listening and watching.